Couric. Bari Weiss had no choice over recent firing. Couric has had a long career as a journalist, working for various outlets. Thanks to this, she has often put her background to use to weigh in on the current state of broadcast journalism. Recently, she made a surprising admission concerning Bari Weiss in light of the recent shakeups at CBS News. Couric has worked for various CBS News programs over the years, including 60 Minutes. Couric has worked as a television host for the big three television networks in the United States. In addition to working for NBC News and ABC News, she also worked for CBS News from 2006 to 2011. Taking to her online show, Couric recently weighed in on current events at CBS News, particularly the recent firing of Scott Pelley. This also comes out as the network has faced a major overhaul, with curious figures coming and going, since the recent installation of Bari Weiss as editor-in-chief. Interestingly, Couric shared, "I don't think that Bari Weiss had any choice but to let Scott Pelley go." She continued, I think it's a classic definition of insubordination." These remarks came out days following Pelley's being fired after a staff meeting in which he criticized Weiss over her management of 60 Minutes. Looking back at her own time with the network, Couric shared that she understood why Pelley was angry. However, she argued that the way he voiced his feelings gave management few options. Reporter Oliver Darcy also weighed in on the story, musing that Scott Pelley might have known what he was doing. Expressing sympathy toward Pelley, Couric shared, "I admired that he stood up for his principles. I just think perhaps the way that he did it and the way he expressed himself might have been handled differently." Media reporter Oliver Darcy, who spoke with Couric, agreed that Pelley likely knew that he was risking his job. He shared, "I think he knew he was daring management to fire him. If they weren't going to fire him for this pretty obvious act of insubordination, then it would be very difficult, I think, to fire people in the future." However, both Couric and Darcy felt that CBS leaders weren't handling the overhaul well. With Pelley's dismissal, Couric ultimately felt that it had already planted the seeds of deep resentment within the newsroom. What is your reaction to Couric's recent share? Have you been following this story? Are you keeping up with the overhaul at CBS News? Make sure you come back to TV Shows Ace for all the latest TV and celebrity news. Couric. Bari Weiss had no choice over recent firing. Veteran journalist Couric is once again at the center of media conversations after reportedly sharing her perspective on the recent controversy involving journalist Bari Weiss. According to discussions circulating across media circles, Couric suggested that Weiss had no choice regarding the recent firing that has sparked intense debate across the journalism industry. The comments quickly ignited reactions online, with supporters and critics offering sharply different interpretations of what Couric may have meant. While details surrounding the firing remain the subject of ongoing public discussion, the situation has reopened broader conversations about editorial independence, newsroom leadership, and the difficult decisions facing today's media organizations. Bari Weiss has long been known for her outspoken opinions and willingness to challenge conventional thinking. Throughout her career, she has attracted both loyal supporters and vocal critics, making nearly every professional move a major topic of discussion. As news of the firing spread, many observers immediately began speculating about the internal circumstances that may have led to the decision. Couric, one of America's most recognizable broadcast journalists, reportedly emphasized that difficult personnel decisions are rarely simple. Her suggestion that Weiss had no choice has been interpreted by some as an acknowledgement that larger institutional pressures often influence leadership decisions behind the scenes. Social media platforms erupted soon after the remarks gained attention. Some users praised Couric for offering what they viewed as a balanced perspective, arguing that executives and journalists frequently face impossible situations where every available option carries consequences. Others, however, questioned whether describing the situation as having no choice oversimplified a far more complicated issue. Critics argued that accountability remains important regardless of external pressures, and that newsroom leaders should always be prepared to defend difficult decisions publicly. Media analysts note that controversies like this reflect the rapidly changing landscape of modern journalism. As audiences become increasingly polarized, news organizations face mounting pressure from readers, advertisers, employees, and competitors. Decisions that once remained behind closed doors now unfold in full public view, often becoming major stories themselves. The discussion has also highlighted the growing influence of independent journalism. Bari Weiss has built a significant audience outside traditional media through independent publishing ventures, demonstrating how journalists today have more options than ever to connect directly with readers. Industry experts say the latest controversy illustrates how the relationship between traditional news organizations and independent voices continues to evolve. Questions surrounding editorial freedom, workplace culture, and institutional responsibility are likely to remain at the forefront of media debates for years to come. Neither Couric nor Weiss has publicly expanded in detail on every aspect of the controversy, leaving many questions unanswered. Until additional verified information becomes available, much of the public conversation will likely continue to rely on analysis and differing interpretations rather than confirmed facts. For now, one thing is clear. The exchange has reignited discussion about the pressures facing today's journalists and the complex decisions made inside modern newsrooms. Whether people agree with Couric's assessment or not, her remarks have ensured that the debate surrounding Bari Weiss and the recent firing will remain a significant talking point across the media world.